Have you ever felt the sting of betrayal from someone you trusted deeply? Someone who seemed charming, confident, and caring on the surface, but whose actions left you feeling broken and confused. Perhaps you've wondered how such individuals seem to escape justice, continuing their manipulative games while leaving destruction in their wake. There is a truth, one as old as time itself. No one, no matter how cunning, escapes the divine gaze of God. A narcissist is someone who crafts an image of perfection to mask their flaws. They thrive on presenting themselves as admirable, successful, and virtuous. But behind the facade lies insecurity and fear. They manipulate others to gain control, using charm to draw people in, only to exploit their trust later. Their relationships are transactional, they only care about what benefits them. One defining trait of a narcissist is their inability to empathize. They can witness someone's pain and remain unmoved, so long as their own needs are met. Narcissists crave validation and power. They go to great lengths to ensure they remain in the spotlight, often at the expense of others. They rarely, if ever, take responsibility for their actions. Instead, they deflect blame onto others, often gaslighting those who challenge them. This speech is not about condemnation, it is about revelation. For behind the mask of arrogance and deceit lies a soul whose actions are not hidden from the Creator. They may manipulate, deceive, and harm, but the light of truth will always prevail. God sees beyond the surface, beyond the false smiles and grandiose illusions, exposing what is hidden in the dark for all to see. Narcissists thrive in secrecy. They craft illusions and wear masks, feeding on control and admiration. They fear exposure because their power depends on others believing the lie. But here's the thing about lies, they are no match for the ultimate truth. In God's time, every hidden thing is brought into the light. So if you've ever found yourself in the path of a narcissist, this message is for you. God is not blind to their schemes, nor is He indifferent to the pain they cause. And today we're going to uncover how God exposes narcissists and why His divine justice is unshakable. But before we dive deeper, ask yourself, have you been hurt by someone who took advantage of your kindness? Have you doubted yourself because of their manipulations? This speech will illuminate the characteristics of narcissists and the ways God ensures that their actions do not go unnoticed or unpunished. So, lean in, because what you're about to hear may bring clarity to the chaos, healing to your heart, and reassurance that no matter how powerful they seem, narcissists cannot escape God's truth. A narcissist is someone who crafts an image of perfection to mask their flaws. They thrive on presenting themselves as admirable, successful, and virtuous. But behind the facade lies insecurity and fear. They manipulate others to gain control, using charm to draw people in, only to exploit their trust later. Their relationships are transactional, they only care about what benefits them. One defining trait of a narcissist is their inability to empathize. They can witness someone's pain and remain unmoved so long as their own needs are met. Narcissists crave validation and power. They go to great lengths to ensure they remain in the spotlight, often at the expense of others. They rarely, if ever, take responsibility for their actions. Instead, they deflect blame onto others, often gaslighting those who challenge them. This message is a reminder that no matter how dark the night may seem, God's justice is like the dawn. It may take time, but it always comes. Stay tuned, because the exposure of narcissists is not just a possibility, it's a promise. Narcissists are experts at creating illusions. At first glance, they can seem like the perfect friend, partner, or colleague. Their charm is magnetic, their words persuasive, and their outward behavior seemingly flawless. Yet this perfection is a carefully constructed facade designed to mask a deeply flawed and insecure interior. They rely on others not only to believe in their deception but to feed it. However, no facade can stand forever, and God's timing ensures that the truth will come to light, no matter how skillfully they attempt to conceal it. Narcissists thrive on portraying themselves as ideal. They carefully curate their image, choosing words and actions that project confidence, competence, and virtue. Whether it's in personal relationships, the workplace, or social settings, they go to great lengths to ensure that others see them as extraordinary. Yet this is only an act. Their behavior is often inconsistent, and cracks in their persona begin to show. While they may fool people initially, God uses time as a tool to gradually peel back the layers of their deception. One of the most effective ways God exposes narcissists is through their patterns. No matter how convincing their facade is, their repeated actions will eventually contradict the image they've created. A narcissist's need for control, admiration, and superiority often leads to manipulation, deceit, and exploitation. These behaviors cannot be sustained without consequences. Over time, those around them begin to notice inconsistencies, broken promises, untruthful claims, or harmful actions that don't align with the image they project. God operates on His timeline, not ours. While we may desire immediate exposure of a narcissist, God often allows time to pass so that their true character can be fully revealed. This process can be difficult for those who are suffering under their influence, but it is purposeful. By allowing the narcissist to continue their behavior unchecked for a time, God ensures that when exposure occurs, it is undeniable. The evidence of their actions becomes so overwhelming that their mask can no longer hide their true self. Another way God reveals a narcissist's true character is through their interactions with others. Relationships act as mirrors, reflecting who we truly are. A narcissist may initially appear kind and generous, but their inability to genuinely care for others becomes apparent over time. Their manipulations, lies, and lack of empathy eventually erode trust, and those closest to them begin to see their true nature. These revelations often occur in stages, as people piece together the narcissist's behaviors and motives. God doesn't always expose narcissists through dramatic events. Often, it's through small, seemingly insignificant moments that their true character is revealed. A careless comment, an unguarded action, or an unexpected situation can expose their motives and intentions. These moments, though minor, accumulate over time, painting a clearer picture of who they truly are. God's hand ensures that these revelations occur in a way that cannot be ignored or dismissed. God also equips those around narcissists with discernment, a spiritual gift that allows people to see beyond appearances. While narcissists rely on deception to maintain their control, discernment reveals the truth beneath the surface. This insight often comes to those who are willing to seek God's guidance and wisdom. Through prayer and reflection, individuals can see through the narcissist's lies and begin to understand their true character. Narcissists build their lives on lies, but no lie can remain hidden forever. God's truth has a way of dismantling even the most elaborate deceptions. Over time, the narcissist's stories, claims, and justifications begin to contradict each other, revealing the inconsistencies in their narrative. The very lies they rely on to protect themselves become the evidence that exposes them. God often uses the testimonies of others to expose a narcissist's true character. As more people begin to share their experiences, a pattern emerges that is impossible to ignore. These witnesses play a crucial role in bringing the truth to light, as their stories collectively reveal the narcissist's behavior and intentions. This collective evidence serves as a powerful tool for exposing the narcissist's true nature. While narcissists may operate in the shadows, relying on secrecy and deception, God's light penetrates even the darkest corners. Every action, no matter how hidden or well concealed, is seen by God. And in His perfect timing, He ensures that what has been done in darkness is brought into the light. This exposure is not just about revealing the narcissist's actions, but also about bringing justice and restoration to those who have been harmed. Narcissists fear exposure because it threatens the foundation of their power, control. They rely on others not knowing the truth about their manipulations and deceit. When God brings their actions to light, it strips them of this control, leaving them vulnerable and exposed. This exposure often comes in unexpected ways, through a chance discovery, an unintentional confession, or the courage of someone willing to speak out. Scripture reminds us that nothing hidden will remain concealed. God's light reveals what is hidden, ensuring that the truth comes to the surface. This process can be painful, especially for those who have suffered under the narcissist's influence, but it is necessary for justice and healing. When their actions are exposed, it becomes clear that their power was always an illusion. One of the most profound ways God brings narcissists' actions to light is by allowing them to expose themselves. Their arrogance and overconfidence often lead them to make statements or take actions that reveal their true intentions. They may boast about their achievements or manipulate situations to their advantage, only to have these actions backfire. God uses their own words and deeds to uncover the truth. Another way God exposes narcissists is through the voices of those they have harmed. When victims find the strength to share their experiences, it creates a ripple effect that unveils the narcissist's behavior. These testimonies not only validate the experiences of others but also provide irrefutable evidence of the narcissist's actions. God's timing is precise, and His methods are often beyond our understanding. He orchestrates events in such a way that the narcissist's actions are brought to light at the perfect moment. This could be through the discovery of evidence, the intervention of a trusted ally, or the narcissist's own carelessness. Regardless of the method, the result is the same. Their actions are exposed, and their influence is diminished. When God exposes a narcissist, it's not just their actions that come to light, but their motives as well. Their selfishness, greed, and desire for control become evident, stripping away any remaining illusions. This revelation allows others to see them for who they truly are, making it impossible for them to continue their manipulations. God often uses accountability to bring narcissists' actions to light. Whether through legal consequences, social backlash, or personal confrontations, they are held responsible for their behavior. This accountability not only exposes their actions but also serves as a reminder that no one is above the law, earthly or divine. When one truth is revealed, it often leads to the exposure of others. This ripple effect ensures that the full extent of the narcissist's actions is uncovered. God's hand guides this process, ensuring that nothing remains hidden. Each revelation builds on the last, creating a complete picture of the narcissist's behavior. Finally, the exposure of a narcissist's actions is not just about revealing the truth, it's about restoring justice. By bringing their actions to light, God ensures that those who have been harmed find closure, and that the narcissist is held accountable. This process is a testament to God's commitment to truth and justice. These revelations demonstrate that while narcissists may thrive in secrecy, their actions are never truly hidden. God's light ensures that everything done in darkness will eventually be exposed, no matter how deeply it is buried. Narcissists often stumble upon their own arrogance. It's one of the defining traits that sets them on a path to exposure. Their inflated sense of self makes them overestimate their abilities and underestimate the power of truth. They believe they are untouchable, above reproach, and immune to consequences. This false confidence becomes their undoing. God allows their pride to lead them into situations where their true nature cannot remain hidden. The narcissist's pride blinds them to reality. They believe their carefully constructed facade breakable, and that others will continue to fall for their manipulations. This hubris often drives them to take bigger risks, lie more boldly, and manipulate more blatantly. They assume no one will question them, but God ensures their overconfidence leads them into circumstances where their lies unravel. They may betray themselves through careless actions or arrogant words, exposing their true intentions to those around them. In relationships, their pride becomes their Achilles heel. A narcissist often pushes people to their breaking point, assuming their charm or intimidation will keep others under control. But pride causes them to overreach, crossing boundaries that lead to exposure. A moment of arrogance can spark a chain reaction, where one revelation about their behavior opens the door to others. God orchestrates these moments, ensuring their pride leads them to a place where their actions can no longer be hidden. Their obsession with being seen as superior is another pathway to exposure. Narcissists crave recognition and validation, often boasting about achievements or exaggerating their successes. This need for admiration causes them to seek out the spotlight, but the light they crave becomes the very thing that exposes them. In their quest for attention, they often make claims or take actions that are easily disproven. God uses these moments of self-promotion to reveal the truth, allowing others to see through the facade. One of the most profound ways God uses their pride against them is by allowing their actions to spiral out of control. Narcissists often feel invincible, leading them to escalate their behavior. They become bolder in their manipulations, more daring in their lies, and more ruthless in their pursuit of control. This escalation is unsustainable, and eventually they create situations they can no longer manage. God ensures that their pride leads them to overextend themselves, setting the stage for their exposure. Their pride also isolates them. Narcissists often alienate the very people they rely on to maintain their image. Their arrogance drives them to dismiss the concerns of others, lash out at perceived threats, and undermine relationships. Over time, this behavior leaves them without allies, making it easier for the truth to come to light. God uses their pride to create an environment where their lies can no longer be sustained, as their support system collapses under the weight of their own actions. Even in their attempts to regain control, their pride betrays them. Narcissists often try to discredit those who expose them, but their arrogance leads them to make mistakes. They may underestimate the strength of their victims, overplay their hand, or contradict their own narratives. God allows their pride to cloud their judgment, ensuring that their attempts to regain power only serve to further expose them. Pride is a powerful weapon, but in the hands of a narcissist, it becomes a tool for their own downfall. God uses their arrogance to guide them into situations where their manipulations are revealed. It is not immediate, but it is inevitable. Their pride, which they see as a source of strength, becomes the very thing that brings their actions into the light. Control is the lifeblood of a narcissist. They thrive on the ability to dictate the thoughts, emotions, and actions of those around them. Their sense of superiority is rooted in their belief that they can control every aspect of their lives and the lives of others. But this illusion of control is just that, an illusion. God allows circumstances to arise that shatter this false sense of power, exposing the vulnerability and deceit that lies beneath. The narcissists work tirelessly to maintain control, using manipulation, charm, and intimidation as tools to keep others in line. They craft narratives that position them as the center of every situation, ensuring they hold the reins. However, God allows situations to arise that disrupt their carefully orchestrated plans. These disruptions often come in unexpected forms: a sudden change in circumstances, an unforeseen challenge, or the courage of someone who refuses to be controlled. In these moments, their illusion of control begins to crumble. One way God breaks their control is by empowering their victims. Narcissists rely on the compliance of those they manipulate, but when people begin to see through their tactics, the dynamic shifts. God gives strength to those who have been oppressed, enabling them to resist the narcissist's influence. This resistance not only disrupts their control, but also reveals their true nature to others. The more they try to reassert their dominance, the more their desperation becomes apparent. Another tool God uses is unpredictability. Narcissists thrive in environments where they can predict and manipulate outcomes. They rely on patterns and control over information to maintain their power. But life is full of uncertainties, and God ensures that situations arise that they cannot anticipate or control. These moments force them to react in ways that reveal their vulnerabilities, exposing the fragile foundation of their power. The collapse of their control often leads to self-exposure. When their ability to manipulate is challenged, narcissists become erratic. They lash out, make impulsive decisions, and act in ways that betray their true character. Their desperation to regain control causes them to overstep boundaries, revealing the very behaviors they've worked so hard to hide. God allows this process to unfold, ensuring that their actions speak louder than their words. God also uses the narcissist's own tactics against them. Their manipulations often create a web of lies and contradictions that becomes increasingly difficult to maintain. As their illusion of control unravels, the lies they've told begin to catch up with them. The very tools they use to control others become the instruments of their exposure. God ensures that their actions lead to consequences, breaking the cycle of control they depend on. Another way God breaks their illusion of control is through isolation. Narcissists often push people away through their behavior, leaving them without the support system they need to maintain their power. As their relationships deteriorate, they find themselves increasingly alone, unable to control the narrative. This isolation makes it easier for others to see the truth, further weakening their influence. Their downfall is also accelerated by their own arrogance. Narcissists often believe they are invincible, leading them to take risks and make decisions that undermine their control. They overreach, assuming they can manipulate any situation to their advantage. But God ensures that these missteps lead to their exposure. Their attempts to tighten their grip often result in losing it entirely. God uses truth to dismantle their control. Narcissists rely on lies and deception, but truth has a way of surfacing. Whether through the testimonies of others, the revelation of hidden actions, or the natural consequences of their behavior, the truth disrupts their narrative. Once exposed, their control is shattered, leaving them powerless to manipulate the situation further. In breaking their illusion of control, God not only reveals the narcissist's true nature, but also restores balance and justice to those who have been affected. One of the most profound ways God exposes narcissists is by empowering their victims to speak. For those who have suffered under the manipulative grasp of a narcissist, speaking out often feels like an impossible task. Narcissists are experts at instilling fear and doubt, making their victims feel powerless and voiceless. Yet God works in the hearts of those who have been harmed, replacing fear with courage and silence with a resounding voice. The journey to finding one's voice begins with healing. Narcissists thrive by eroding the confidence of those they manipulate, creating an environment where their victims feel small and insignificant. But God sees every wound, every moment of pain, and every injustice. He begins the healing process by reminding victims of their worth, showing them that they are not defined by the lies and abuses of the narcissist. Through prayer, reflection, and often through the support of others, God restores their sense of self, preparing them to speak their truth. Victims often find themselves questioning their own experiences, a result of the gaslighting and manipulation they've endured. Narcissists are skilled at making their victims doubt reality, convincing them that their pain is exaggerated or unwarranted. But God brings clarity to the confusion. He reveals the truth in undeniable ways, allowing victims to see their experiences for what they truly are. This clarity is the foundation of their empowerment, giving them the confidence to stand up and share their stories. When victims begin to speak, their words carry a unique power. They expose the narcissist's actions, dismantling the carefully constructed facade them to operate unchecked. God uses these testimonies as a light in the darkness, revealing what has been hidden. Victims' stories resonate with others who have experienced similar pain, creating a ripple effect that brings even more truth to the surface. God also strengthens victims against the backlash that often comes when they choose to speak out. Narcissists do not take kindly to exposure. They may attempt to discredit their victims, twist the narrative, or escalate their manipulative behavior. But God provides a shield of protection, ensuring that the truth cannot be silenced. He equips victims with resilience, giving them the strength to persevere even in the face of adversity. Through their courage, victims inspire others to come forward. Narcissists rely on isolation to maintain control, but when one person speaks out, it often emboldens others to do the same. This collective truth-telling creates a powerful force that cannot be ignored. God orchestrates this process, ensuring that the voices of the harmed become a chorus that dismantles the narcissist's influence. In empowering victims to speak, God not only exposes the narcissist but also brings healing and restoration to those who have suffered. Their words become a testimony of God's justice, a reminder that no one is beyond accountability. The courage of one voice can ignite a movement, revealing the truth and setting the stage for change. Narcissists often seem to evade consequences, leaving their victims wondering if justice will ever be served. Their ability to manipulate situations and control narratives creates the illusion that they are untouchable. However, God's justice operates on a timeline that transcends human understanding. While it may feel delayed, His timing is always perfect, ensuring that justice is not only served but also meaningful and transformative. Divine timing begins with preparation. God allows events to unfold in such a way that the narcissist's actions are fully revealed. He orchestrates circumstances where their lies, manipulations, and abuses are exposed to the right people at the right time. This process can feel slow to those who are waiting for justice, but it is intentional. God ensures that when justice comes, it is undeniable and comprehensive, leaving no room for the narcissist to escape or deny the truth. Another purpose of divine timing is to bring healing and readiness to those who have been harmed. Victims often need time to process their experiences, rebuild their strength, and prepare themselves for the consequences of exposing the narcissist. God uses this time to restore and empower them, ensuring that they are in a position to stand firm when the time for justice arrives. He also provides them with the support and resources they need, whether through friends, family, or other means, to navigate the challenges ahead. God's timing also ensures that the narcissist is exposed in a way that prevents further harm. If exposure comes too soon, the narcissist may find ways to regain control or manipulate the situation to their advantage. By waiting for the right moment, God ensures that their influence is diminished, making it more difficult for them to continue their manipulations. This not only brings justice but also protects others from falling victim to their schemes. Divine timing often involves unexpected events that disrupt the narcissist's plans. These moments, orchestrated by God, create opportunities for truth to emerge. Whether it's a chance discovery, a slip of the tongue, or a moment of arrogance that backfires, these events serve as catalysts for exposure. God's hand is evident in these moments, as they often occur in ways that the narcissist could never anticipate or control. The consequences of divine timing extend beyond the narcissist. Their exposure serves a warning to others, a reminder that no one is above accountability. It also brings validation and closure to those who have been harmed, showing them that their pain was not ignored or forgotten. God's justice is not just about punishment, it's about restoration, bringing balance and truth to situations that have been marked by deception and harm. In the end, divine timing reflects God's unwavering commitment to truth and justice. While it may require patience, it is a process that ensures justice is complete and transformative. Narcissists may believe they can outrun accountability, but God's timing proves otherwise, demonstrating that no one can escape the light of truth. Narcissists thrive on relationships, not healthy, mutual connections, but ones they manipulate to sustain their power and control. They rely on others to validate their image, provide admiration, and shield them from accountability. However, God's process of exposing narcissists often involves isolating them from the very people and systems they depend on. This isolation is not immediate but gradual, unraveling their network of enablers and creating an environment where their manipulations can no longer succeed. The process begins subtly. Narcissists are often so absorbed in their own needs and desires that they fail to notice when their behavior starts alienating others. Their arrogance, entitlement, and lack of empathy create tension in relationships. One of the most profound ways God exposes narcissists is by turning their own schemes against them. Narcissists are master manipulators, constantly devising plans to control, deceive, and exploit others for their benefit. They rely on lies, calculated moves, and psychological manipulation to maintain their power. However, in God's perfect timing, their schemes often backfire in ways they never anticipated, revealing their true character and intentions. Narcissists believe they are untouchable, their cleverness shielding them from exposure. They weave intricate webs of deception, assuming that no one will catch on. Yet God's justice is not only about exposing the truth, but also about showing that their manipulative tactics cannot withstand the light of truth. The very traps they set for others often ensnare them instead. This is not a coincidence but divine orchestration, a reminder that no one is beyond accountability. For example, a narcissist might fabricate stories to discredit someone who threatens their control. They may plant seeds of doubt in others' minds, twisting narratives to paint themselves as the victim and the other person as the villain. While these lies may initially gain traction, they eventually unravel. God ensures that inconsistencies in their story come to light, and the people they sought to deceive begin to see through their facade. Their desperate attempts to maintain their lies only further expose their dishonesty. Another way God turns their schemes against them is by allowing their actions to have unintended consequences. Narcissists often act impulsively, believing they can manipulate every outcome to their advantage. However, their overconfidence blinds them to the bigger picture. They may betray someone they perceive as weak, only to find that person empowered to stand against them. They might manipulate a situation to gain temporary control, only to create circumstances that lead to their downfall. God uses these moments to show that no plan built on deceit can stand. Their arrogance also plays a significant role in their undoing. Narcissists often underestimate the intelligence and resilience of those they manipulate. They assume they can outsmart everyone, but God gives wisdom and discernment to their victims and those around them. This wisdom exposes the narcissist's schemes, turning their own tactics against them. The more they try to manipulate, the clearer their true motives become to others. God also uses the narcissist's own words and actions to reveal the truth. Narcissists often speak and act with a false sense of superiority, believing they are above reproach. This overconfidence leads them to say or do things that contradict their carefully curated image. For instance, they may boast about their exploits or make careless remarks that reveal their true intentions. These moments, seemingly insignificant at first, become key pieces of evidence that expose their schemes. Their need for control often drives them to escalate their manipulations, but this escalation becomes their downfall. As they grow bolder in their tactics, they take greater risks, leaving behind a trail of evidence that cannot be ignored. God ensures that these risks lead to their exposure, demonstrating that their reliance on deceit and control is ultimately futile. The consequences of their schemes extend beyond exposure. When their plans fail, they are left facing the fallout of their actions. Relationships they depended on crumble, trust they once manipulated is irreparably broken, and the power they wielded disappears. God's justice ensures that their own actions bring about their downfall, leaving them with no one to blame but themselves. While narcissists focus on their schemes, God's attention is on those they harm. Victims of narcissistic abuse often feel broken, powerless, and defeated. Yet God has a way of taking the pain inflicted by narcissists and transforming it into a source of strength and empowerment. This process not only heals the victim, but also serves as a testimony to God's justice and restoration. The first step in this transformation is validation. Narcissists are skilled at making their victims feel as though their pain is insignificant or unwarranted. They gaslight and manipulate, creating confusion and self-doubt. God intervenes by bringing clarity to the victim's experiences, showing them the truth of what they endured. This validation is the foundation of their healing, allowing them to reclaim their sense of reality and self-worth. As victims begin to heal, they discover a strength within themselves that they may not have realized existed. The process of surviving narcissistic abuse requires resilience, courage, and determination, qualities that God nurtures and brings to the forefront. What once seemed like insurmountable pain becomes a source of empowerment. Victims learn that their worth is not defined by the narcissist's actions, and they begin to rebuild their lives with a newfound sense of purpose. God also brings people to their lives who support their healing journey. Whether it's friends, family, counselors, or spiritual mentors, these individuals provide encouragement, understanding, and love. They remind the victim that they are not alone and that their pain matters. This support system, is a vital part of the transformation, reinforcing the strength that God is cultivating within them. As victims grow stronger, they often find themselves in a position to help others. Their experiences become a source of wisdom and empathy, enabling them to support those who are going through similar struggles. God uses their pain to equip them with the tools they need to be a light for others. In this way, their suffering is not wasted but transformed into something meaningful and impactful. God also brings closure to the pain inflicted by the narcissist. While victims may never receive an apology or acknowledgement from the narcissist, God provides peace that surpasses understanding. This peace allows them to let go of bitterness and resentment, freeing them from the hold the narcissist once had over their lives. They learn to forgive, not as an act of excusing the narcissist's behavior, but as a way of releasing themselves from the burden of anger and hurt. The transformation of pain into strength is a testament to God's power to restore and renew. Victims who once felt broken become beacons of hope, showing others that healing and empowerment are possible. Their stories inspire those who are still struggling, proving that God's justice and love are unwavering. In the end, the strength of the victim becomes one of the greatest tools for exposing the narcissist. Their resilience and courage stand in stark contrast to the narcissist's lies and manipulations, revealing the truth in a way that cannot be denied. God uses their transformation not only to bring healing, but also to ensure that the narcissist's actions are fully exposed and accountability is achieved. One of the most powerful ways God exposes narcissists by restoring balance and truth to situations that have been deeply disrupted by their deceit and manipulation. Narcissists thrive in chaos, creating environments where lies overshadow truth and their selfish ambitions come at the expense of others' well-being. Yet God's justice is rooted in order and harmony. His process of exposing narcissists is not just about punishment, it's about re-establishing fairness, clarity and justice in every area the narcissist has touched. Restoration begins with dismantling the false narratives narcissists create. Narcissists are experts at distorting reality, often convincing others to believe in their version of events. They weave lies that paint themselves as heroes or victims, while the people they harm are cast as villains. These narratives enable them to manipulate relationships, gain sympathy, and avoid accountability. God intervenes by bringing undeniable truth to the forefront. Through evidence, testimonies, or divine timing, the lies that have caused so much confusion are replaced with clarity. This process reveals the narcissist's true intentions and actions, restoring trust in what is real. As the truth emerges, balance is restored in relationships and environments where the narcissist once held sway. Narcissists often create dynamics where they hold all the power, silencing dissent and manipulating others to serve their needs. This imbalance leaves people feeling powerless and exploited. God's intervention disrupts these dynamics, empowering individuals to reclaim their autonomy. Relationships that were once dominated by the narcissist's control are rebalanced, allowing mutual respect and fairness to take root. One of the most significant aspects of restoring balance is addressing the harm done to victims. Narcissists often leave behind a trail of emotional, psychological, and sometimes financial damage. Their actions can erode self-esteem, destroy trust, and create deep wounds in those they manipulate. God's justice involves healing these wounds, providing victims with the strength and resources they need to recover. This healing process is not instantaneous but unfolds over time, ensuring that the damage caused by the narcissist is fully addressed and reversed. Restoration also includes vindicating those who were wronged. Narcissists often discredit and demean their victims, making them appear unreliable or at fault. This strategy not only protects the narcissist but also isolates their victims, leaving them without support or validation. God's justice ensures that these lies are exposed and the victim's integrity is restored. Their experiences are validated, their voices are heard, and their reputations are redeemed. Another way God restores balance is by removing the narcissist's influence. Narcissists often operate in positions of power or authority, using their status to manipulate and control others. Their removal from these positions is a critical step in restoring fairness. This removal can happen in various ways: through exposure that forces them to step down, through their own self-sabotaging actions, or through external consequences they cannot avoid. Once their influence is diminished, those they once controlled can begin to thrive without fear or manipulation. God's restoration also extends to the communities and systems impacted by the narcissist's actions. Whether in families, workplaces, or social groups, narcissists disrupt the harmony and functionality of their environments. Their divisive behavior often pits people against one another, creating mistrust and conflict. When God exposes their actions, He not only restores truth but also brings unity to these fractured communities. People begin to rebuild relationships, working together to create an environment that is healthy and supportive. The process of restoring balance also reveals the strength and resilience of those who endured the narcissist's manipulations. God uses their journey to demonstrate that no matter how much harm was done, healing and restoration are always possible. Their ability to rebuild and thrive becomes a testament to God's justice and a reminder that the narcissist's actions do not have the final say. Finally, restoration is about ensuring lasting change. Narcissists often leave patterns of dysfunction in their wake, but God's justice addresses the root causes of these issues, preventing them from continuing. This might involve changing the systems that allow the narcissist to operate unchecked, strengthening the resolve of those affected, or teaching important lessons about discernment and boundaries. Through these changes, God ensures that the narcissist's influence is not only exposed but also eradicated, creating a future where balance and truth prevail. In restoring balance and truth, God demonstrates His unwavering commitment to justice. The exposure of the narcissist is only one part of the process. What follows is a rebuilding that ensures fairness, integrity, and peace are restored to every area they disrupted. This restoration is not just about undoing the harm they caused, but about creating a foundation for growth, healing, and harmony that honors God's design for relationships and communities. As we come to the end of this journey, one truth remains undeniable. God's justice is unshakable, and His light is unrelenting. Narcissists, no matter how cunning or manipulative, cannot escape the gaze of the Creator. Their actions may cause pain, confusion, and chaos, but they are never beyond the reach of divine justice. In His perfect timing, God exposes the lies, dismantles the schemes, and restores the balance that narcissists so desperately try to disrupt. If you've been affected by a narcissist, remember this: you are not alone. Your pain has not gone unnoticed, and your story is not over. God is working, even in the silence, to bring truth to light and to heal the wounds you've endured. Trust in His timing and lean into His strength, for He is the ultimate restorer and redeemer. To those who have seen the truth and spoken out, you are a testament to God's power to transform pain into purpose. Your courage is not just for you, it's for those who are still finding their voice, still seeking clarity, and still healing. By standing firm in the truth, you become a beacon of hope for others, a reminder that God's justice prevails. Let this message serve as a reminder that no matter how dark the night may seem, the dawn of truth always comes. Lies crumble, masks fall, and the light of God reveals all that is hidden. Narcissists may believe they are untouchable, but their power is an illusion. God is the ultimate authority, and His justice is the final word. Thank you for listening and reflecting on this message. Let us go forward with the assurance that truth always prevails and justice, though it may seem delayed, is never denied. May you find strength in God's promises, healing in His presence, and courage to walk boldly in the light of truth. Keep faith alive, and remember, no one can escape the divine justice of God. Your life is shaped by the attention you give to the unseen. What you dwell upon in the quiet chambers of your mind becomes the reality you walk into. The world around you is not separate from you, it is merely a reflection of your inner state. Every experience, every encounter, every circumstance is drawn to you by the focus of your imagination. You are not a victim of chance or circumstance. You are the creator, consciously or unconsciously, of the life you live. If you allow your thoughts to linger on fear, lack, or doubt, you will find that these very things multiply in your experience. The universe does not judge your focus, it simply responds to it. Whatever you pour your energy into, whether it is joy or despair, abundance or scarcity, it takes root in the soil of your subconscious and blossoms into your external reality. Begin to understand that what you see with your physical eyes is merely the residue of past thoughts. The truth of creation lies in the unseen power of your inner focus. To change your life, you must first change the direction of your attention. Shift your mind on the things you desire as though they are already yours. Feel the joy of their fulfillment, even if the outer world gives you no evidence of it. It is not enough to want something. Desire without focus is like a seed without water, it cannot grow. You must nurture your desires with unwavering attention. When you see yourself already possessing what you seek, when you align your feelings with the experience of having it, the world will rearrange itself to bring it to you. This is not magic, it is the law of life. Doubt and fear are the only barriers to your success. They are the thieves of creation, robbing you of the life you long for. Do not allow your focus to drift to what you fear might happen. Instead, discipline your mind to stay fixed on the end result you wish to see. Feel it as real. Live as though it is already done. You are the only one who determines the quality of your life. The power has always been within you. Choose wisely where you place your focus, for where your attention goes, energy flows, and creation follows. The life you desire is not something to be found outside of you. It is something to be claimed from within. Your life is the perfect mirror of your inner world, and this truth is unchanging. What you focus on, you attract, for the world you see is not independent of you but born out of you. To understand this is to unlock the great secret of life. The power of creation is not something external, but something alive within you, waiting to be directed. The mind, with its infinite power of imagination, is the starting point of all creation. Each thought you think, every feeling you allow yourself to dwell in, shapes your reality. The external world is not a fixed, unchangeable thing. It is fluid, pliable, and obedient to the impressions you place upon it. If you do not like what you see in your life, look not to the world for change, but to yourself, for you are the root. Change your focus, and the world must follow. The power of focus cannot be overstated. It is like the light of a magnifying glass. Scattered light has little effect, but when concentrated, it has the power to ignite. So too with your thoughts. When you focus your attention on a desire with clarity and feeling, you call it forth from the invisible into the visible. This is the law, and it never fails. But here is the secret most overlook. It is not enough to merely think of what you want. It is not enough to daydream idly about a better life. Creation requires more than fleeting thoughts. It requires a sustained, disciplined focus. You must see yourself as already being the person you wish to be, already having the thing you desire, already living in the state you long for. And most importantly, you must feel it as real. Feeling is the key that unlocks the door to manifestation. Your subconscious mind, which is the seat of creation, does not respond to words or empty affirmations. It responds to feeling. When you feel something deeply, as though it is already true, you impress it upon your subconscious. This impression is like planting a seed. The soil of the subconscious does not question whether the seed is good or bad. It simply brings forth whatever is planted. Consider this: when you hold worry or fear in your mind, you are unknowingly planting seeds of those very things you hope to avoid. Your focus, when placed on negative outcomes, is just as powerful as your focus on positive ones. The law does not discriminate. It does not care whether you are focusing on joy or despair. It only knows to give you more of whatever you dwell upon. Do you now see why it is so essential to guard your thoughts and feelings? Your mind is a garden, and you are its gardener. You must choose carefully what you plant, for the harvest will surely come. If you wish for abundance, plant thoughts of wealth and plenty. If you long for love, dwell on the feeling of being deeply cherished. If you seek health, imagine yourself whole and vibrant. The great challenge is that the outer world, the world of appearances, often contradicts the desires of your heart. It shows you evidence of lack of struggle, of limitation. But this is where the power of focus is truly tested. Will you allow yourself to be swayed by what your senses tell you, or will you stand firm in the reality of your desire? The greatest creators are those who can look beyond appearances and hold unwavering faith in the unseen. Faith is not blind belief, it is the ability to see with the inner eye. It is the conviction that what you focus on must come to pass, even when the outer world shows no signs of it. This is not wishful thinking, it is the deliberate act of creation. When you focus on your desire as though it is already fulfilled, you align yourself with the energy of that reality. You become one with it, and it must manifest. This brings us to the importance of living in the end. To live in the end means to think, feel, and act as though your desire is already yours. It is to embody the state of the wish fulfilled. This is not about pretending or fooling yourself, it is about shifting your inner state to match the reality you wish to create. When you do this, the world will conspire to reflect your inner state. The power of focus extends beyond the personal and into the collective. Just as an individual creates their reality, humanity as a whole creates the shared experience of the world. The conditions of society, the state of the planet, the course of history, all of these are shaped by the collective focus of the human mind. If humanity were to focus on peace, abundance, and harmony, these would become the dominant realities. But too often the collective focus is scattered, dwelling on fear, conflict, and separation. This is why your role as an individual is so important. By mastering the power of your own focus, you not only transform your personal reality but contribute to the transformation of the whole. The light of one focused mind is far greater than the scattered thoughts of many. You become a beacon, a catalyst for change simply by choosing where to direct your attention. Many people struggle with this concept because they are enslaved by their senses. They believe only in what they can see, touch, and measure. But the truth is that the physical world is but a shadow of the unseen. It is the echo of what has already been created in the mind. To change the shadow, you must change the light source. You must go within and redirect your focus to the reality you wish to see. This is not a process of force or struggle. Creation is effortless when you align your focus with your desire. Struggle comes only when you allow doubt and fear to dominate your mind. These are the enemies of creation, for they scatter your focus and disrupt the flow of manifestation. The key is to remain steadfast, to hold your focus with quiet confidence, knowing that the law cannot fail. Patience is also a vital part of this process. Just as a seed takes time to grow, so too does the manifestation of your desires. Impatience is a sign of doubt, and doubt is a sign that you have lost your focus. Trust the process. Trust that what you have planted in your mind will bear fruit. The timing is not yours to control, but the outcome is certain if you remain faithful to your focus. As you begin to practice this, you will notice a shift in your life. You will see synchronicities, opportunities, and such circumstances aligning in ways that seem almost magical. But this is not magic, it is the natural unfolding of the law. The world is rearranging itself to match your inner state. What you once thought was impossible becomes inevitable when you master the power of focus. Let me leave you with this: the life you desire is not something you need to chase. It is something you must allow. By focusing on it with clarity, feeling, and faith, you open the door for it to come to you. The power is already within you, waiting to be awakened. You are the creator of your reality, and what you focus on, you attract. The life you are living today is the result of your focus, whether deliberate or unconscious. The experiences you encounter, the relationships you build, the opportunities or obstacles that arise are all reflections of your inner world. Your focus acts like a magnet, drawing to you the conditions that align with it. It is not merely a habit of the mind, but the very essence of creation. What you hold consistently in your thoughts, what you nurture in the depths of your feelings, must manifest in your reality. To understand this truth is to awaken to your creative power. Yet so many live their lives as though they are victims of chance, controlled by forces outside themselves. They believe that circumstances dictate their happiness, success, or well-being, unaware that they are the architects of their experience. They are blind to the truth that what they focus on, they attract. This is the fundamental law of life as within, so without. Your outer world mirrors your inner state. If your mind is filled with thoughts of scarcity, you will encounter lack in your life. If your emotions are dominated by fear, you will find yourself surrounded by reasons to fear. But if you fill your mind with thoughts of abundance and allow yourself to feel the joy of having what you desire, the world will shift to reflect that state. Your imagination is the tool through which you direct this focus. It is not just a place for idle dreams or fleeting fantasies. It is the creative power of the universe at work within you. Through imagination, you can see beyond the limitations of the present moment and plant the seeds of the reality you wish to experience. But the key is not simply to imagine, it is to feel as though the vision is already real. The moment you begin to focus on a desire, it begins to take form. The invisible world of the mind is where all creation starts. You do not need to see evidence of it in the outer world to believe it is real. In fact, belief must precede evidence. This is the opposite of how most people live. They wait for proof before they believe, not realizing that their disbelief is the very thing that prevents the proof from appearing. Faith is the foundation of creation. Faith is the ability to see the unseen, to trust in the reality of your desire before it becomes visible. Faith is not something you must force, it is a natural byproduct of focus. When you fix your attention on the end result you desire, and when you feel the joy and fulfillment of having it, faith arises naturally. It is the assurance that what you have imagined is already true. This is why it is so vital to guard your focus. The world is full of distractions, full of opportunities to focus on fear, lack, and limitation. If you allow your attention to be pulled in every direction, you will create a chaotic life. But if you discipline your focus, if you choose to dwell only on the thoughts and feelings that align with your desires, you will create a life of harmony and abundance. The outer world is but a shadow, a reflection of your inner world. When you attempt to change the shadow without changing the source, you are working in vain. This is why so many people struggle and strive without success. They are trying to fix their outer circumstances without addressing the inner cause. They do not realize that the power to change lies within them. This may sound too simple, too easy, but that is the nature of truth. Creation is not meant to be a struggle. It is meant to be a struggle. It is meant to be a joyful, effortless process. Struggle arises only when you resist the flow of life, when you allow doubt and fear to cloud your focus. But when you align your thoughts and feelings with your desires, creation happens naturally as a flower blooms in the sunlight. You must also understand the importance of gratitude in this process. Gratitude is not just a response to what you have, it is a state of being that aligns you with abundance. When you are grateful, you are focused on the good in your life, and by the law of focus, you attract more good. Gratitude is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It is the feeling of already having what you desire, and it amplifies the creative power of your focus. Do not let the present moment deceive you. The conditions you see around you are the result of past focus. They are not fixed, they are not permanent. They are but the echoes of your previous thoughts and feelings. If you do not like them, you have the power to change them. But you must stop reacting to them. Reaction keeps you tied to the very reality you wish to escape. Instead, respond with intention. Shift your focus to the reality you wish to create. This is where many falter. They allow their senses to dictate their focus. They see lack and feel lack. They hear words of doubt and feel discouraged. But you must rise above the evidence of the senses. You must remember that the senses only show you what has already been created. They are not the creators themselves. You are the creator, and your focus is the tool through which creation happens. You may wonder, how do I remain focused when the world around me feels so real, so overwhelming? The answer is simple but requires practice. Live in the end. This means to think, feel, and act as though your desire is already fulfilled. It is not about pretending or deceiving yourself, it is about aligning your inner state with the reality you wish to experience. When you live in the end, you are no longer a seeker but a receiver. You are no longer hoping or wishing, you are knowing. You embody the state of having, and in doing so, you become a magnet for its manifestation. The world around you will rearrange itself to match the state you hold within. This is not a process of force but of alignment. You do not need to push or pull to make things happen. The universe is already working on your behalf. Your only task is to remain focused, to hold the vision of your desire with unwavering faith and feeling. The how and when are not your concern. They are the domain of the unseen forces that respond to your focus. Patience is essential in this process. Just as a seed takes time to grow, so too does the manifestation of your desires. Impatience is a sign of doubt, and doubt scatters your focus. Trust the process. Trust that what you have planted in your mind will bear fruit. The timing is not yours to control, but the outcome is certain if you remain faithful to your focus. Many people give up just before their desire is about to manifest. They allow the outer world to convince them that nothing is happening, and they abandon their focus. But remember, the outer world is always the last to change. The true work happens within. When you feel discouraged, return to your vision. Feel it is real. Remind yourself that what you focus on, you attract, and that the process is already in motion. Let me ask you this: what are you focusing on right now? Is it your desires or your doubts? Is it abundance or lack? Is it love or fear? Whatever it is, know that it is shaping your reality. You are always creating, whether you realize it or not. The question is not whether you are using the power of focus, but whether you are using it consciously. The life you desire is not something you need to chase. It is not something outside of you that you must strive to achieve. It is something within you waiting to be claimed. By focusing on it with clarity, feeling, and faith, you align yourself with it. You become the embodiment of your desire, and it must manifest in your experience. You are the creator of your reality, and the power lies in your focus. What you dwell upon in your mind, what you feel in your heart, is what you will see in your life. Choose your focus wisely, for it is the most powerful tool you have. To turn your attention away from what you do not want and fix it firmly on what you desire. Live in the end, feel it as real, and trust the process. The world will respond to you in ways that will astonish you. Remember, the power is already within you. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are the master of your destiny. What you focus on, you attract. Let this truth guide you, and you will create a life beyond your wildest dreams. Imagination is the garden where these seeds are planted. It is the most powerful faculty you possess, for it is through imagination that you access the infinite possibilities of creation. What you imagine with feeling and conviction becomes the blueprint for your reality. Every invention, every achievement, every work of art began as a thought in someone's imagination. The same power that brought forth great wonders in the world is available to you, waiting to be harnessed. But imagination alone is not enough. You must combine it with feeling. Feeling is the fuel that gives life to your focus. When you imagine your desire, you must feel as though it is already true. This is the essence of living in the end. It is not about pretending or denying the present reality, but about aligning your inner state with the reality you wish to create. When you feel as though your desire is already fulfilled, you emit a powerful signal to the universe, and the universe responds in kind. This is where faith becomes essential. Faith is the unwavering belief in the unseen. It is the assurance that what you have focused on in your mind is already real, even if it has not yet appeared in the physical world. Faith is not blind or naive, it is rooted in the understanding that the inner world always precedes the outer. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, your focused desires require time to manifest. Impatience and doubt disrupt this process, while faith and patience nurture it. Many people struggle because they allow their senses to dictate their focus. They look at their current circumstances and react to them, reinforcing the very reality they wish to change. But the senses are not the creators of reality, they are merely observers. To live by the evidence of the senses is to live in reaction rather than creation. True power lies in turning inward, in imagining and feeling the reality you wish to experience, even when the outer world seems unchanged. Consider the power of gratitude. Gratitude is more than a polite response, it is a state of being that aligns you with abundance. When you feel grateful, you are focused on the good in your life, and by the law of focus, you attract more good. Gratitude bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It allows you to feel the joy of having your desire even before it manifests. And this feeling of having is the very thing that brings it into being. Some may say, but what about the hardships I did not choose? What about the struggles that seem beyond my control? To this, I say, look not at the outer cause, but at the inner response. Life will always present challenges, for they are part of the growth and expansion of your soul. But how you respond to these challenges determines their impact on your life. If you focus on the problem, you will magnify it. But if you focus on the solution, on the growth and wisdom to be gained, you will transform the challenge into a stepping stone toward your greater good. Your focus is not only the key to attracting what you desire, but also to overcoming what you fear. Fear thrives on attention. When you dwell on what you fear, you give it power. But when you shift your focus to love, faith, and confidence, fear dissolves. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot focus on fear and faith at the same time. Choose wisely, for the choice is always yours. Let us delve deeper into the concept of living in the end. To live in the end is to embody the state of already having your desire. It is to think, feel, and act as though your wish is fulfilled. This does not mean ignoring the present or pretending it does not exist. It means holding the vision of your desired reality so strongly that it becomes more real to you than the current circumstances. This state of being creates a powerful alignment between your inner world and the outer world, compelling the latter to conform to the former. Living in the end requires practice and persistence. The mind is often resistant to change, clinging to old patterns and beliefs. But with consistent focus, you can reprogram your mind to align with your desires. Visualization is a powerful tool for this. Take time each day to close your eyes and imagine your desired reality in vivid detail. See it, hear it, feel it. Engage all your senses and immerse yourself in the experience. The more real it feels to you, the stronger its pull on your outer reality. Do not underestimate the power of small, consistent shifts in focus. Each moment you choose to focus on your desire rather than your doubt is a moment of creation. Each time you feel gratitude rather than frustration, you align yourself with abundance. Each time you imagine the fulfillment of your desire rather than the lack of it, you take a step closer to its manifestation. These small moments add up, creating a momentum that cannot be stopped. The world around you will often test your focus. It will present you with distractions, doubts, and delays. But remember, the outer world is always the last to change. The true work happens within. When you remain steadfast in your focus, when you refuse to be swayed by appearances, you become the master of your reality. The world must bend to the power of your focus, for that is the law of life. You are the creator of your experience, and the power lies in your hands. What you focus on, you attract. This truth is unchanging, universal, and eternal. It is not dependent on circumstance or condition, it is the essence of existence. Embrace this truth, and you will unlock the infinite potential within you. You will become the deliberate creator of your reality, shaping your life into a masterpiece of your own design. The power is already yours, all you need to do is claim it. 10 signs God is testing your faith. There comes a moment in every person's life when the ground beneath them feels unsteady. Perhaps you felt it too, the kind of uncertainty that keeps you awake at night, questioning everything you thought you knew. The path you've been walking, which once seemed so clear, now feels shrouded in darkness. Your dreams, once vibrant and alive, seem farther away than ever. And you can't help but wonder, why is this happening to me? What if I told you this moment, as painful and confusing as it may seem, is not a punishment but a test? A divine test designed to shape you, refine you, and prepare you for something extraordinary. Imagine this: a craftsman chiseling away at a rough piece of stone. The process may appear harsh, but every strike of the hammer is calculated, every fragment that falls away revealing the masterpiece hidden within. You are that masterpiece, and the challenges you face are the tools shaping your destiny. But how can you be certain you're being tested? The truth is, the signs are all around you. They whisper to you in moments of silence. They confront you in your relationships, and they echo in the circumstances you cannot escape. These signs are not random, they are divine signals pointing toward transformation, calling you to rise above fear and doubt. Stay with me as I unveil the 10 clear signs that God is testing your faith. Each sign, while it may feel like a burden, carries a hidden blessing. And as we explore these signs together, you'll begin to see how they are not obstacles but stepping stones to a life you've only dared to dream of. And here's the most astonishing part. If you pass this test, if you remain steadfast, unshaken, and aligned with the vision of your highest self, everything you've been longing for will appear all at once. Not gradually, not someday, but in an instant. This is not wishful thinking, it's the divine principle of fulfillment. It is the moment when preparation meets faith and the unseen becomes seen. But first you must recognize the test, endure it, and emerge stronger on the other side. Let's delve into these signs together, one by one. Here's the secret: God's tests are not designed to break you but to elevate you. When you recognize these signs, embrace them with faith, and remain steadfast, you align yourself with divine timing. What you desire isn't far away, it's waiting for you to pass the test. Picture a dam holding back a river. With each sign you endure, cracks begin to form, until finally the floodgates burst open, and everything you've prayed for comes rushing into your life. That moment of abundance isn't a coincidence, it's the result of your unwavering faith. Stay patient, stay faithful, and remember, your test is your testimony in the making. Doors close unexpectedly. We've all experienced it, the heartbreak of a door slamming shut right when we thought we were about to walk through it. Maybe it was a job you were counting on, a relationship you invested years in, or a project you poured your heart and soul into. And just when you thought you were on the cusp of something great, it all fell apart. The disappointment can feel overwhelming, leaving you questioning, why did this happen to me? What did I do wrong? But let me tell you something that will change the way you see these closed doors forever. They are not the end. They are redirections. Imagine for a moment that you are walking through a maze. You take a turn only to find a dead end. It's frustrating, isn't it? But what if I told you that every dead end is not a mistake, it's a guide? It's the maze telling you this isn't the way. Turn around, keep going. There's something better waiting. When a door closes, it's not a punishment, it's a divine intervention. It's God stepping in to say, not this one. Not yet, I have something far greater prepared for you. But here's the catch: you have to trust the process. You have to believe that what's behind that closed door pales in comparison to what's waiting for you beyond the next one. Think about it this way: if every door you walked through led to immediate success, how would you grow? How would you learn patience, resilience, or the strength to overcome adversity? Closed doors are a test of your faith. They ask you to pause, reflect, and trust that even in rejection, there is protection. Sometimes what you think you want is far less than what you deserve, and God closes that door to protect you from settling for less. Let's take it deeper. When a door closes, it creates a pause. And in that pause, something powerful happens. You are forced to listen. You are forced to stop and ask yourself, is this what I truly want? Is this aligned with my purpose? That pause is where clarity is born. It's where you reconnect with your vision and realize that the door you were so desperate to walk through wasn't leading to your destiny, it was leading to distraction. Here's an analogy. Imagine a sculptor working on a block of marble. Every time they chip away a piece, it looks like destruction. But each strike of the hammer is intentional. Each piece that falls away reveals more of the masterpiece hidden within. The same is true for you. Every closed door is a chip, a strike, a moment that feels like loss but is actually shaping you into the person you were always meant to be. What you must remember is this: when one door closes, another opens. But sometimes we are so fixated on the door that closed, we fail to see the one that just swung wide open. Don't let disappointment blind you to opportunity. Don't let rejection make you forget that you are chosen for something greater. Take a moment to reflect on your life. Think about the doors that closed in your past. At the time, they felt like the end of the world. But now, looking back, can you see how they were actually stepping stones? Can you see how those closed doors led you to where you are today? That is the power of faith, to trust that every no is making way for a bigger, better yes. The next time a door closes, don't despair. Take a deep breath and say to yourself, this isn't the end, it's a new beginning. Trust that God is clearing the path for something extraordinary. Stay patient, stay faithful. And remember, the best doors are the ones you don't have to force open, they swing open effortlessly when the time is right. You feel alone and isolated. Have you ever felt like the whole world is moving on without you? Like you're standing still while everyone else seems to be thriving? It's a lonely feeling, isn't it? Isolation can feel like a punishment, like you've been abandoned or forgotten. But what if I told you that your isolation is not a curse, it's a blessing in disguise? Think of it like this: when a seed is planted, it's buried in darkness. It's cut off from the light, surrounded by soil, and seemingly alone. But what's really happening? Beneath the surface, that seed is transforming. It's taking root. It's preparing to break through the ground and reach for the sun. Isolation is the soil of your growth. It's the space where you take root, where you gather the strength to rise above. When God isolates you, it's because He's calling you into a season of preparation. He's removing distractions, pulling you away from the noise so you can hear His voice clearly. This is your time to reflect, to reel in, and to rediscover your purpose. It's not about being lonely, it's about being set apart. You are being prepared for something greater, something that requires focus and faith. Think about the great people who achieved extraordinary things. Do you think they were surrounded by crowds cheering them on every step of the way? No. Their greatest moments of transformation happened in solitude. When you're alone, you're forced to face yourself. You're forced to confront your fears, your doubts, and your insecurities. And in doing so, you grow. You become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. But here's the beautiful part. Isolation doesn't last forever. Just like the seed eventually breaks through the soil, you too will emerge from this season of solitude. And when you do, you'll be stronger than ever. You'll be ready to face the world with a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. If you're feeling isolated, don't despair. Embrace this time as a gift. Use it to grow, to reflect, and to prepare for what's coming next. Trust that God has not abandoned you, He's preparing you. And when the time is right, He will bring the right people, the right opportunities, and the right blessings into your life. Remember, isolation is not the end. It's the beginning of something extraordinary. It's your chance to take root, to grow, and to prepare for the breakthrough that's on the horizon. Stay faithful, stay patient, and know that even in your loneliness, you are never truly alone. Everything seems to go wrong at once. There's a unique kind of exhaustion that comes when it feels like life is falling apart all at once. You wake up to a string of problems. Your relationships are strained. Your finances are in chaos. And even your health feels like it's betraying you. You look up and ask, why is everything going wrong? What did I do to deserve this? But let me tell you something that will shift your perspective. When everything goes wrong, it's often a sign that everything is about to go right. These moments of chaos aren't there to destroy you, they're there to prepare you. They are like the storm before the calm, the turbulence before the plane ascends to new heights. Think about it like this: when a house is being renovated, the process often looks messy and chaotic. Walls are torn down, debris is everywhere, and it seems like nothing is going as planned. But the chaos is necessary for transformation. You can't build something better without first dismantling what no longer serves you. The same is true in your life. When everything feels like it's going wrong, it's not destruction, it's preparation. Now, here's where the real test of faith comes in. When you're in the middle of the storm, it's hard to see the bigger picture. All you can see is the chaos around you. But faith is about trusting what you can't see. It's about believing that the mess you're in is not the end, it's the beginning of something extraordinary. Here's a powerful truth. Problems often come in clusters because you're being tested on multiple levels. Each challenge is like a weight added to your barbell, and every time you lift it, you grow stronger. The universe doesn't send you these challenges to break you, but to build you. It's as if God is saying, let's see how strong your faith really is. Let's see if you can trust me when nothing makes sense. What's even more fascinating is that this period of chaos often precedes a breakthrough. Think about nature. Before a seed grows, it has to be buried in the soil. Before dawn breaks, the night is at its darkest. This is a universal principle. The most significant growth happens in the most challenging conditions. If you can endure the storm, you'll come out on the other side stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your purpose. So, how do you navigate these moments when everything feels like it's going wrong? First, stop resisting. The more you fight the chaos, the more exhausting it becomes. Instead, lean into it. Embrace the discomfort and ask yourself, what is this situation teaching me? Every challenge carries a lesson. And when you uncover that lesson, you unlock the wisdom to move forward. Second, remember that chaos creates clarity. When everything is stripped away, when the things you've been clinging to fall apart, you're left with the essence of who you are. And in that space of clarity, you'll discover your true strength and purpose. Hold on to the vision of what you're working toward. When the noise of the storm gets too loud, close your eyes and imagine the life you're building. See it in vivid detail. Feel the joy of living it. That vision is your anchor, the thing that will keep you grounded when the world feels like it's spinning out of control. So, when it feels like everything is going wrong, remind yourself of this: it's not falling apart, it's falling into place. Trust the process, stay faithful, and remember that the storm you're enduring is the precursor to the life you've been praying for. You're faced with difficult choices. Life has a way of putting us at crossroads, doesn't it? There you are, standing in the middle of two paths, unsure of which one to take. On one side is the safe, familiar road, the one you've walked before. On the other is the unknown, a path filled with uncertainty and risk. And in that moment, the weight of the decision feels almost unbearable. Here's the truth: difficult choices are one of the most profound ways God tests your faith. They force you to confront your fears, to weigh your desires against your values, and to decide what kind of person you want to be. These moments are not random, they are divine opportunities for growth. Think about this: every choice you make is a vote for the person you're becoming. When you're faced with a difficult decision, it's as if God is saying, who do you want to be? Do you trust me enough to step into the unknown, or will you cling to what feels safe? These moments of decision are where your faith is forged. But let's get real, making the hard choice is rarely comfortable. It often feels like stepping off a cliff, not knowing if there's a safety net below. That's why so many people avoid it. They choose the path of least resistance, the one that doesn't challenge them or require faith. But here's the thing, growth never happens in comfort. The safe path might keep you secure, but it won't lead you to greatness. Let's take it deeper. Imagine you're a ship in a harbor. The harbor is safe, it protects you from storms and keeps you anchored. But ships weren't built to stay in harbors. They were made to sail into the open sea, to explore, to face the waves and wind, and to discover new horizons. Staying in the harbor might feel secure, but it will never fulfill your purpose. When you're faced with a difficult choice, you have to ask yourself, am I willing to leave the harbor? Am I willing to trust that even though the sea is uncertain, the journey is worth it? This is where faith comes in. Faith is the compass that guides you through the unknown. It's the belief that even if you can't see the destination, God is leading you there. So how do you make these tough decisions? Start by getting quiet. Shut out the noise of the world and tune into your inner voice. Pray, meditate, or simply sit in stillness. In that quiet space, you'll find clarity. You'll hear the whisper of God's guidance, pointing you toward the path that aligns with your purpose. Next, remember that fear is not a sign to stop, it's a sign to move forward. Fear often shows up when you're on the brink of something great. It's the resistance that comes before a breakthrough. Don't let it paralyze you. Instead, let it be your cue to step out in faith. Trust that no matter which path you choose, God will use it for your good. Even if you make a mistake, even if you stumble, He will guide you back to where you're meant to be. There is no wrong choice when you're walking in faith. Difficult choices are not barriers, they are gateways. They are the moments that shape your character, deepen your faith, and bring you closer to your destiny. So the next time you're standing at a crossroads, don't be afraid. Step forward with courage, trust the process, and know that whatever lies ahead, it's leading you exactly where you're meant to be. Delayed dreams and desires. There is nothing more frustrating than waiting for something you deeply desire, especially when you've put in the effort, done the work, and prayed countless prayers. You look around and see others achieving their goals, living their dreams, and moving forward while you feel stuck, as if life has hit pause. It's enough to make anyone question, why is this taking so long? But let me tell you something that will change the way you view delays forever. They are not denials. Delays are divine appointments. Imagine a farmer planting seeds in a field. After the seeds are planted, there's nothing more the farmer can do but wait. He waters the ground, he tends to the soil, but he cannot force the seeds to grow faster. The growth happens in its own time, unseen beneath the surface. You are that farmer, and your dreams are the seeds. The waiting period isn't wasted, it's where the magic happens. God uses delays to prepare you, to test your patience, and to ensure that when your dream arrives, you're ready to handle it. Think about this. What if the thing you've been praying for came before you were ready? What if you were given the opportunity, the relationship, or the success you've been longing for, only to lose it because you weren't prepared to steward it? The delay is not a punishment, it's protection. It's God's way of saying, not yet. I'm still working on you. Patience is one of the greatest demonstrations of faith. When you wait with hope instead of frustration, you show that you trust God's timing more than your own. It's easy to believe when everything is happening quickly, but true faith is tested in the waiting. It's in those moments of delay that your character is built, your resolve is strengthened, and your heart is refined. Let's take a deeper look at what happens during the waiting period. First, you're given the opportunity to grow. Waiting forces you to develop skills, habits, and resilience that will serve you when your dream finally comes to fruition. Think about an athlete training for a championship. The months or years of preparation are grueling, but they're necessary. Without them, the athlete wouldn't be ready to compete at the highest level. The same is true for you. The delay is your training ground. Second, delays give you clarity. When something doesn't happen right away, you're forced to evaluate how much you truly want it. You begin to see the bigger picture and understand whether your desires are aligned with your purpose. This clarity allows you to make better decisions and pursue your dreams with greater conviction. Finally, delays create gratitude. When you have to wait for something, you appreciate it so much more when it finally arrives. It's easy to take blessings for granted when they come quickly. But when you waited, worked, and prayed, the fulfillment of your dream becomes all the sweeter. Here's the most important thing to remember. Just because you don't see anything happening doesn't mean nothing is happening. Just like the farmer's seeds are growing beneath the surface, your dreams are taking root. God is aligning circumstances, opening doors, and preparing opportunities that you can't yet see. Your job is to stay faithful, to keep watering the soil with your efforts, and to trust that the harvest will come. If you're in a season of waiting, don't lose heart. Stay focused, stay faithful, and know that every delay is a setup for something greater. Your dreams aren't just being delayed, they're being perfected. And when the time is right, they will arrive in a way that exceeds anything you could have imagined. You're asked to let go of something precious. Letting go is one of the hardest things you'll ever be asked to do. Whether it's a relationship, a job, a plan, or even a long-held belief, the act of releasing something you've held under so tightly can feel like loss. It can feel like failure. But here's a truth that will transform the way you view letting go. It's not an ending, it's a beginning. Imagine you're holding a handful of sand. The tighter you grip it, the more it slips through your fingers. But if you open your hand, the sand stays and you make room for more. This is the paradox of letting go. By releasing what no longer serves you, you make room for what's meant for you. Sometimes God asks you to let go of something precious because He knows it's holding you back. It's not because He wants to hurt you, it's because He wants to free you. Think of it like pruning a tree. The gardener cuts away branches not to harm the tree, but to help it grow stronger and bear more fruit. The same is true for you. Letting go is a form of pruning. It's a process of removing what no longer aligns with your purpose, so you can grow into the person you're meant to be. But let's be honest, letting go isn't easy. It requires trust, courage, and faith. It requires you to believe that even though you're releasing something you value, God has something even better in store. And here's the beautiful part. Every time you let go of something, you create space for something new. Think about this. Have you ever tried to hold on to too many things at once? Your hands get full, and you can't grab hold of anything else. But the moment you let something go, your hands are free to receive. This is the essence of faith, trusting that what you release will be replaced with something greater. Letting go is also an act of surrender. It's a way of saying, God, I trust you more than I trust myself. I trust that you know what's best for me, even when I don't. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, it's a demonstration of strength. It shows that you're willing to put your faith into action, even when it's hard. Here's an important point to remember. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or giving up. It means releasing attachment. It means acknowledging that your worth and happiness aren't tied to any one thing, person, or outcome. It means trusting that even if something precious is taken from you, it's only because something better is on its way. Think about the story of a child holding on to a small toy, while their parent offers them something bigger and better. The child hesitates, unwilling to let go of what's in their hands, not realizing that what's being offered is far greater. We are often like that child, clinging to what's familiar out of fear, while God is trying to give us something extraordinary. So if you're being asked to let go of something precious, don't see it as a loss. See it as a divine exchange. Trust that what's on the other side of your letting go is a blessing beyond anything you can imagine. Stay faithful, stay open, and know that every release is making room for your breakthrough. You experience constant setbacks. They're like unexpected detours on the road to your dreams. Just when you think you're making progress, life throws you a curveball, leaving you disheartened and frustrated. It's tempting to see these setbacks as signs that you're on the wrong path or that your efforts are in vain. But here's the truth: setbacks are not signs of failure, they're signs of preparation. Imagine you're an archer pulling back the string on a bow. To launch the arrow forward, you must first pull it backward. The further back you pull, the greater the momentum when you release it. Your setbacks are like that backward pull. They are not pushing you away from your goal. They are building the momentum you'll need to launch forward when the time is right. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter. Why do setbacks happen? One reason is to test your resilience. It's easy to keep going when everything is smooth sailing. But when challenges arise, your determination is tested. Setbacks ask the question, how much do you really want this? They separate those who are merely interested from those who are truly committed. Another reason setbacks occur is to teach you valuable lessons. Every delay, every closed door, every challenge contains a lesson that's essential for your growth. Perhaps the setback is teaching you patience, humility, or perseverance. Maybe it's redirecting you toward a better approach or a clear understanding of your purpose. Whatever the lesson, know this: setbacks are not wasted time, they are classrooms for the soul. Think about the story of a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis. The struggle to break free isn't a mistake, it's a necessary process. Without that struggle, the butterfly wouldn't develop the strength it needs to fly. Your setbacks are your chrysalis. They are shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you to soar. How do you handle setbacks? First, change your perspective. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, see them as stepping stones. Every setback is a step forward in disguise. Second, stay focused on your vision. Setbacks can make you feel like giving up, but don't let them distract you from your ultimate goal. Keep your eyes on the prize and remind yourself why you started in the first place. Trust the process. Setbacks are often a sign that something greater is on the horizon. They are the universe's way of refining you, of ensuring that you're truly ready to receive what you've been working for. So when setbacks come, and they will embrace them as opportunities for growth. Stay faithful, stay focused, and remember, every setback is a setup for a comeback. You feel pulled toward unfamiliar paths. There's a certain discomfort that comes with stepping into the unknown. It's that feeling you get when you're about to embark on a journey you've never taken before. The path is uncharted, the destination uncertain, and fear whispers in your ear, what if you fail? But here's the incredible thing: when you feel pulled toward unfamiliar paths, it's often a sign that God is calling you to something greater. Think about it: growth never happens in comfort. A seed doesn't grow in the safety of its shell. It has to break open, push through the soil, and reach for the sun. Similarly, you cannot become who you're meant to be by staying where you are. Unfamiliar paths are invitations to grow, to expand, and to step into the fullness of your potential. Now let's get to the heart of why these paths feel so daunting. It's because they require faith. When you're walking a path you've never walked before, there's no map, no guarantees, and no clear answers. You have to trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust in God's guidance. And that trust is what makes all the difference. Here's a question for you: what's scarier, stepping into the unknown or staying in a place where you know you don't belong? The truth is, staying in your comfort zone may feel safe, but it's a slow death to your dreams. The familiar can keep you stagnant, while the unfamiliar challenges you to grow. It's in the uncertainty that you discover your strength, your courage, and your ability to adapt. Think of it like crossing a bridge. On one side is where you are now, comfortable but unfulfilled. On the other side is your dream, your purpose, your potential. The bridge may look shaky and the path across may seem uncertain, but every step you take brings you closer to the life you're meant to live. The key is to keep moving forward, one step at a time. Unfamiliar paths are also opportunities for discovery. When you step into the unknown, you're not just discovering new opportunities, you're discovering yourself. You're finding out what you're capable of, what you're passionate about, and what truly matters to you. Every step you take reveals a new layer of your potential. And that's something you would never find if you stayed in the safety of the Sapphire. But let's be honest, unfamiliar paths can be lonely. Not everyone will understand your journey. Some people will question your choices while others may try to hold you back. That's because unfamiliar paths often lead you away from the crowd. But remember this, you're not walking this path for them, you're walking it for you. Trust that those who are meant to walk with you will find you along the way. So how do you navigate these unfamiliar paths? First, embrace the uncertainty. Instead of fearing the unknown, see it as an adventure. Second, stay connected to your faith. Pray, meditate, and seek guidance from within. Trust that you are being led in the right direction, even if you can't see the full picture. And finally, take it one step at a time. You don't have to have it all figured out, you just have to keep moving forward. When you feel pulled toward unfamiliar paths, know that it's not a mistake. It's a divine calling. It's the universe nudging you out of your comfort zone and into your greatness. So, take a deep breath, trust the process, and step boldly into the unknown. The path may be unfamiliar, but the destination is worth it. You're asked to forgive the unforgivable. Forgiveness is one of the hardest things you'll ever be asked to do. It's not just about letting go of a grudge or moving past a hurt, it's about releasing the pain that someone else has caused you and choosing to move forward without bitterness weighing you down. But let's be honest, when the hurt runs deep, forgiveness feels impossible. How can you forgive someone who broke your trust, betrayed you, or caused you so much pain? And yet here's the profound truth, forgiveness isn't about them, it's about you. When God asks you to forgive the unforgivable, it's not because He wants to downplay your pain or ignore what you've been through. It's because He knows that unforgiveness is a prison, and as long as you hold on to it, you'll never be free. Imagine carrying a heavy weight on your back day after day. The longer you carry it, the more it drains you, leaving you exhausted and unable to move forward. That's what unforgiveness does. It doesn't hurt the person who wronged you, it hurts you. Let's take this deeper. Forgiveness is not about condoning what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It's about choosing to release the power that the pain holds over you. When you forgive, you're not saying it's okay. You're saying, I refuse to let this define me. I refuse to let bitterness take root in my heart. Forgiveness is an act of rebellion against the darkness that seeks to keep you bound. But why does forgiveness feel like such a test? It's because it requires humility, grace, and faith. It asks you to let go of your right to hold on to anger and to trust that God will handle justice. It's about surrendering your pain to Him and believing that He will turn it into something beautiful. And here's the most powerful part. When you forgive, you make room for healing. You open the door for peace to enter your heart and for blessings to flow into your life. Think about a wound that's left untreated. Over time, it becomes infected, spreading pain and sickness throughout your body. Unforgiveness is like that wound. It doesn't just stay in one place, it seeps into every area of your life, affecting your relationships, your health, and your happiness. Forgiveness is the healing balm that cleanses the wound and allows it to heal. But how do you forgive when it feels impossible? Start by acknowledging your pain. Don't suppress it or pretend it doesn't exist. Bring it to God and be honest about how you feel. Then, ask for His help. Forgiveness isn't something you have to do on your own. It's a divine act that requires His strength working through you. Next, choose to release the offense, even if your feelings don't align at first. Forgiveness is a decision, not a feeling. The emotions may take time to catch up, but the choice to forgive is the first step toward freedom. Finally, remember that forgiveness is a process. It doesn't happen overnight. Be patient with yourself and trust that as you continue to release the hurt, healing will come. When God asks you to forgive the unforgivable, it's because He wants to set you free. He wants to release you from the chains of anger and bitterness so you can walk in peace and joy. So take the first step. Let go of the weight you've been carrying and trust that God will take care of the rest. You feel a deep inner restlessness. Have you ever felt a gnawing sense of dissatisfaction, even when everything in your life seems fine on the surface? It's as if something inside you is stirring, whispering that there's more to life than what you're currently experiencing. This feeling of inner restlessness isn't a sign that something is wrong, it's a divine signal that something greater is calling you. Restlessness often shows up when you're on the verge of transformation. It's like the rumble of the earth before a volcano erupts, or the rustling of leaves before a storm. It's a sign that change is coming, that you're being prepared for a new chapter in your life. But let's be honest, restlessness is uncomfortable. It shakes you out of your routine, makes you question your choices, and pushes you into unfamiliar territory. And yet it's in this discomfort that growth begins. Think of a bird in a nest. When the time comes for it to fly, the nest that once felt safe and comfortable starts to feel cramped and restricted. That restlessness is what pushes the bird to spread its wings and discover its ability to soar. The same is true for you. When you feel restless, it's because you're outgrowing your current situation. It's a sign that it's time to step out of the nest and into the life you're meant to live. But here's where restlessness becomes a test of faith. It asks you to trust that the discomfort you're feeling isn't a mistake, it's a calling. It's God's way of nudging you out of your comfort zone and into your purpose. Restlessness is not a sign of failure, it's a sign of readiness. It's an invitation to take a leap of faith and trust that you'll be caught. Now let's get to the heart of the matter. What do you do with this restlessness? First, embrace it. Don't try to suppress it or distract yourself from it. Sit with it and listen to what it's trying to tell you. Restlessness is a form of divine communication, and if you pay attention, you'll begin to see where it's leading you. Second, take action. Restlessness without action leads to frustration, but restlessness with action leads to transformation. Start by taking small steps toward the life you feel called to. It could be as simple as exploring a new passion, setting a new goal, or stepping out in faith toward an opportunity that scares you. Each step you take will bring clarity and peace. Trust the process. Restlessness doesn't mean you have all the answers, it means you're being invited to find them. Trust that the discomfort is leading you to something greater, even if you can't see the full picture yet. When you feel a deep inner restlessness, know that it's not a curse, it's a blessing. It's a sign that you're on the brink of a breakthrough, that God is stirring something new within you. So don't run from it. Embrace it, act on it, and trust that it's leading you to the life you were created to live. As we come to the end of this journey together, let me remind you of something profound. Every test, every challenge, and every uncomfortable moment in your life is part of a divine plan. God does not test your faith to break you. He tests your faith to prepare you for the blessings you've been asking for. Every closed door, every delay, every moment of isolation or setback is working together to refine you, to strengthen you, and to align you with the life you were meant to live. Think of the tests you're facing as stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. They are not there to hold you back, they are there to push you forward. Each test is a reminder that you are not just wandering aimlessly, you are being guided, molded, and prepared for something extraordinary. The signs we've explored today, whether it's closed doors, isolation, setbacks, or the call to forgive, are not random. They are intentional, and they are sacred. They are God's way of speaking to you, of reminding you that He sees you, He knows you, and He has a plan for you. And if you can endure these tests with faith, if you can trust the process even when it feels uncomfortable, you'll discover something incredible. Everything you've been praying for, working for, and dreaming about will appear all at once. This is the promise of faith, that even when you can't see the full picture, you can trust the one who is painting it. So, no matter where you are right now, whether you're in a season of waiting, a moment of chaos, or a place of deep restlessness, know this: you are exactly where you need to be. Every test is preparing you for the moment when the pieces of your life come together in a way that exceeds anything you could have imagined. Stay faithful. Stay patient. And above all, stay open to the process, because what's coming next is beyond your wildest dreams. Your breakthrough is on its way, and when it arrives, it will all make sense. Keep going, you're closer than you think.